What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy with Fishing Lone Star. In this particular video, we are talking about throwing big worms. Before we dive into that though, I need to let you know this video is sponsored by MonsterBass, the better bag. I want to show you a couple things really quickly. They're just coming out with the Mad Max 2.0. This is an awesome topwater lure. I've already caught a lot of great fish. Comes in many great colors. Make sure you check out the Mad Max 2.0. I'll leave a link below for you. And they just came out with their custom 3,700 size boxes. These are pretty darn awesome. These tackle boxes have some pretty great clasp on them. They also have a waterproof seal, as you can see there. Great for storing any of your hard baits or soft plastics. Brand new on the MonsterBass website. Go check out the tackle boxes. All right, so let's get into today's topic, and that is throwing big worms. You see here, I've got the blitz worm here, which is a big ribbon tail or curly tail worm. And then I also have the bull worm here by Strike King, a big 8-inch shaky head. We're gonna talk about both of these baits, when to throw them, the gear and type of tackle that I use, and really help you improve, hopefully, your confidence and throwing these big baits because they can catch some really big fish. All right, I'm gonna show you some on the water catches. I'm gonna break down exactly why I was throwing each particular lure, either a ribbon tail worm or a straight tail and a shaky head. I'm gonna talk about both of those, but first let's talk about the gear that I'm using. Most of the time when I'm throwing a Texas rig that you'll see there, I'm throwing that on a TFO rod, fast action, heavy to an extra heavy power, and it really depends on the weight that I'm throwing it on. Sometimes when I'm throwing a Texas rig that's anywhere from a 1/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce, I will use just the heavy rod, the 7.3. Now, if I'm throwing a 5/8, 3/4 ounce or heavier on like a big shaky head, then I'll step up to the 7.4 or 7.6 extra heavy rod. Just give it a little more power in your hook sets. But either way, I'm throwing those on 20-pound fluorocarbon. This is by Vicious Fishing, the Pro Elite fluorocarbon. You can also use 17-pound, although I wouldn't go down much lower than that. If you're worried about fish seeing your line less than 17 pounds, then you probably need to throw a smaller worm anyways. So if you're gonna throw anything less than 17, just go ahead and throw a smaller worm. But for these big worms, you want 17 to 20-pound fluorocarbon. Trust me on that, because you're gonna have some big hook sets that you'll see here in these videos. All right, so let's talk about color selection. All right, I've got 4 colors here that I primarily use and carry with me. Now this is gonna go for both worms, either the blitz worm or that bull worm, straight tail, ribbon tail. These are mainly the 4 colors I carry. I carry a black and blue for dark, cloudy days, low visibility, or if there's dirty water. All right, I carry a watermelon, red flake, black flake. That red flake really does well in the sunlight and in kind of clear water, not extremely clear, but clear water. I use a plum or a red bug. I don't know, sometimes the hotter it is outside, the better this color does. It just works really well in the summer and even the winter too. And then also use that summer crawl color, which is like a green pumpkin with more of that lighter undertone. This works really well in the sun. Sometimes you just need to alternate between watermelon red or summer crawl or even plum to figure out which one they want to bite. But I will use these 4 colors in both this worm or that straight tail bull worm. All right, so between the two, when do I use this one versus this one? Well, quite honestly, I mainly throw each one based upon this one. I throw more around timber when there's also kind of a softer or a grassier bottom. This one I'll throw around timber as well, but when there's a harder bottom. So if I'm throwing this on a big shaky head, I'm talking like Strike King makes a big one, other companies do as well, but a big shaky head that is anywhere from a 1/2 ounce to a 3/4 ounce and a 7/0 to an 8/0 hook, all right, big hooks. If I'm throwing this shaky head, I'm going to look for a hard bottom, right? Because that shaky head is not gonna come through grass very well. That's where I'm gonna reach for the blitz worm, all right? Also, if I'm trying to get fish to react to biting this on the fall, then I will throw the blitz worm, obviously, because there's not much action on the fall here, okay? This is gonna be better being hopped along the bottom, all right? The bull worm, you can hop this on the bottom as well, but it's also gonna get bites on the fall. So I'll show you that here in a minute on a video. Both of them though, I will throw around timber. Just kind of depends on if I'm in timber and want to get a bite on the fall. or if I'm in timber and has hard bottom, then I'll throw this one. This one also, the shaky head works really well around rocks or brush piles that are in deeper water. So does the worm, but again, it just depends on if they're chasing it on a moving bait or if they're chasing it being kind of like on a dead stick. So both of these I will use in some situations. It just depends on how the fish are reacting. All right, now some of my best catches have been on either of those two style worms. So let's break down a couple of videos. I'm gonna show you some on the water footage of catches I've had with both of those worms or both of those styles of worms. And I'll annotate them as we go so you kind of understand what my thought process is, my retrieve style, and what I did to land the fish. Let's check them out.
All right, so this first video I'm throwing the shaky head, and you'll see this line of trees on my left. It's kind of a creek channel that goes from 3 feet on the backside to about 10 to 13 feet. Now, if you'll watch my retrieval, I point my rod tip down and reel in the slack, and then kind of pull or hop that shaky head worm through the trees with just the rod, okay? Then I point it back down, reel in my slack, and I get a bite. Coming up, I'll feel it, I'll reel down the slack and give a really big hook set. Now at first, this is on Lake Louisville in Dallas. At first, I wasn't quite sure if I had a bass. It comes up and surfaces. I still couldn't really see it, but I was hoping it was a bass. It felt like one, and right there it jumps. And I knew it was. Knew it was a pretty good one and had to get in the net.
Yes, yes, baby. Look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, that worked just like it should.
All right, this next clip is a different lake, throwing the blitzworm, that big ribbon tail. And you'll notice I throw it right on the edge of the grass. I reel on my slack, and as it's falling, a fish eats it. I feel it, set the hook, and then it's about halfway to the boat when I realize how good the fish is. My father-in-law is fishing with me, so he grabs the net, and we get this fish in the boat.
That's a good fish. Get him in there, Ronnie. Oh, yes, sir. Wow. Wow. Yes.
That is a good one.
Yes. Oh, that is a beauty there.
Beautiful.
Holy cow, guys. That is a great fish. An 11-inch worm. Got it done.
All right, third and final clip here, also throwing the blitzworm. You'll see I'm aiming for this tree, and I miss it just to the left, but I'm working the timber. It's a single tree there along the bank line. Kind of pop it a couple of times. Feel the bite right in here, reel down slack, and a big hook set. And I want to keep this fish pinned because it was around the tree and tree limbs, so I'm trying to pull him out of there. Good fight to the boat. This is a good, probably 3.5, 4 pounder. You'll see it kind of come up right here, head shake. You see the worms kind of slid up my line. This was the green pumpkin. And when you hook set straight up, you usually get them right in the top of the mouth that you'll see there. And just another great fish on that 11-inch blitzworm.
All right, guys, so there you have it. Hopefully that's a pretty quick but efficient overview of both the big bullworm, an 8-inch shaky head, or the blitzworm, an 11-inch worm. What I really love about the blitzworm as well is it does float, so it will stand up on bottom like this. Even though I'm rarely dead sticking this, I'm usually moving it and being pretty active with it. Also, what I love about my MonsterBass bags that I'm getting is these worms will come throughout the year, but at the right time of the year that I receive them. So they're the blitzworm, the bullworm, or other types and styles of baits like this. It's why I love the MonsterBass bag so much, because it's a regional pro box or pro bag that's designed for your region at different times of the year. So whatever fish should be biting in your area is what you're gonna get. So for example, I just got the bullworms in this last month. I've gotten blitzworms in previous months, but the bullworm is perfect right now for these hot days. It's roughly 95, pushing 100 today in Dallas. It'll stay in the 90s probably for at least another 30, 45 days. But both these worms do great. MonsterBass always gives you great baits. So check them out below. Stay tuned if you're new to the channel, because coming up in 1 or 2 videos, probably 2 videos after this, is a huge giveaway. I can't wait for you guys to see that. Please drop a comment below. Let me know if you like this video. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. If nobody told you today, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.